Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the Bio at the Buzzer channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about a few moves that the LA Lakers realistically need to make in this offseason if they want to turn around and win the NBA championship again. If you guys do enjoy this video, do me a favor and kill a like button. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I also want you guys to comment down below what other teams that you guys want me to make these type of videos on. I think this could be really fun and could be an interesting series, so let me know down below what you guys want to see next. I'm going to be honest, the next one I'm probably going to be doing this on is going to be either the Los Angeles Clippers or the Golden State Warriors. So we'll have to see what happens there, but without further ado, let's get right into it. So let's take a look at the Lakers roster and what we are kind of working with right now. Obviously, you know, there is going to be some players that are going to be free agents and stuff like that. And we're going to kind of talk about everything that is going to be going down with this team and where I think they really did struggle. Now, in a previous video, when they did get eliminated, I did talk about how they were getting exposed throughout their series with the Phoenix Suns. Now, I know a lot of people want to say, hey, well, the biggest problem was, you know, Anthony Davis was hurt and our role players weren't stepping up. Anthony Davis getting hurt, obviously that is just bound to happen. If we're being honest, Anthony Davis is very injury prone, and I do agree to a certain extent that AD obviously being out greatly affected your team. And obviously it's going to. He is your best individual player to go out there and get you a bucket. It does make sense. Now again, let me clarify that sentence that I just made. He is the best player to get a bucket, not the most valuable player. That is obviously LeBron James. Now, taking a look at this team, again, when a lot of people say, hey, our role players didn't step up, there's a reason why. The biggest thing that the Lakers did was getting rid of major pieces that did really help them win a championship. Guys like Rajon Rondo, he was a great fit next to a guy like LeBron. The reason why, Rondo's a very smart player, especially in the playoffs. That is exactly the player that you want on a championship team. Now, getting rid of him obviously did affect their team a lot. They were able to pick up a guy in Dennis Schroeder, but really that leadership aspect, that, you know, that floor general, that really, you know, smart, high IQ player was definitely missing when the games that LeBron wasn't on the floor or LeBron was hurt. There was just nothing really there. And that even extended to the regular season. So the first thing we are going to be really talking about with this team now is going to be their salary cap and what the situation is looking like. So right now, we are obviously in this is the year right here. Boom. This one right here. So this is the year that just happened. They were able to get Andre Drummond for literally next to nothing, which is really kind of funny if we're being completely honest. Now, taking a look at this next season, we do have some big free agents for this Laker team in Dennis Schroeder, Wesley Matthews, a free agent, Alex Caruso, Jared Dudley, whatever, Markieff Morris, whatever, Talen Horton-Tucker, Andre Drummond, and blah, 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 right? So if we're being completely honest, Dennis Schroeder and a guy like Andre Drummond, those are the two guys that I think are most important. Talen Horton-Tucker, if they can get him on a really cheap deal like this, I think they definitely need to bring him back. Let me clarify that right now. So bringing Talen Horton-Tucker back is a great piece to this team. Even if they wanted to bring back Markieff Morris, I think that's actually pretty smart. Markieff Morris, obviously the shot selections he takes, not really the best, but he's a very scrappy player, and I think that's what the Lakers could definitely use, especially coming off their bench. Backing up a guy like AD, he is somebody that they definitely need on their team. Now, the first trade I think is actually going to be really solid for the LA Lakers is something like this. Now, obviously, Lillard, I don't necessarily think Lillard wants to leave Portland, but I do think Portland is going to kind of look to ship him to a different team. Now, again, like, I really do like Lillard being in Portland. I've talked about this in the past where I really like the situation he's in. I think they just need to go a whole different direction and really try to get somebody else other than CJ McCollum to obviously pair up with him. I don't really think that's going to happen, but honestly, as of right now, this is what I think the Lakers should try to do. They should try to do a sign and trade deal, obviously including Dennis Schroeder, bringing him back on whatever deal to kind of make the salaries work. I think trading Montrezl Harrell alongside of Kyle Kuzma and Talen Horton-Tucker is a good idea. Now, you can get into draft picks and do whatever you want, obviously, with this whole deal here, but I think this kind of does work out for both teams. The reason why is that obviously the Lakers would have to throw in some picks, but I think this does work out because with the Blazers, you know, making this trade, they're going to get a young player in Kyle Kuzma. They're going to get a good building piece, or, you know, a decent building piece, I should say, with Talen Horton-Tucker. And the thing is, with Kuzma's deal, he's really not on that bad of a salary. And the reason why I say that is because, like, he is making, you know, 13 mil a season, but the thing is with that is Kuzma being on 13 mil does sound like a lot, but like Kuzma has the potential to be on a good team or be good for a team. Just I don't think the Lakers are a good fit for him. I think him being in LA makes him worse. And the reason why is because with him getting wrapped up in a lot of like, Hollywood type stuff, I just don't think it's good for him. I think if you put him in a brand new system and kind of said, here, you know what? We're rebuilding this year. Show us what you can do. I think that could be a really good year for Kuzma. It's kind of what happened the first year where he did kind of break out and showed people how good he could be. And I think that'd be a good situation for the Blazers to kind of have. Also, like I said, the Lakers would have to throw in picks in this deal, but the Lakers getting Lillard will obviously be really solid for them. It'll actually, have a really good big three in Lillard, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. AD obviously would still be able to get his touches while you have a guy like Lillard, facilitating the ball. LeBron is obviously going to be their main guy, but having that attention off of Lillard as well is going to free him up, and that's going to help out the Lakers a lot. If we're being completely honest, maybe, midway through the first quarter, you say, hey, LeBron, you know what? Take a seat. Relax. Take a breather. It's not something LeBron has had throughout his career, and I think Lillard, that could be really good for both Lillard and LeBron. Put Lillard in a different situation, let him go crazy, let LeBron get his breaks. That's a championship team waiting to happen. Now, this is actually a realistic trade that I could see the Lakers, maybe taking a shot at, kind of working for. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Before you guys, are like, why would they ever do this? Very seriously, Eric Gordon is in a really weird spot. Eric Gordon is actually a really solid player. This man can go out and light you up for 30 at any given night. I mean, if he gets hot, he's just going to start making everything. And I think that's what the Lakers need. They need that guy to just go out there and start shooting the ball. But they also just need somebody that can go out and get a bucket as well. And Eric Gordon is the perfect fit for that. And I think that'd be a great fit for this team. Also, Kelly Olynyk is a super underrated player. If you guys look back to what he was doing with Miami in the finals and just in the playoffs in general last year, that's the type of player that, again, I think the Lakers need. He's good at facilitating the ball. He's a really good shooter. So, again, where Andre Drummond comes in and screws up their floor spacing, you're going to have a good piece in Kelly Olynyk to go out there and really help their floor spacing and start lighting up other teams. Now, their defense does lack a little bit with this trade, but as long as you're putting Kelly Olynyk out there with guys like, Anthony Davis, you're going to be fine. AD is going to help you out. He's going to carry you a little bit. LeBron's obviously going to be out there for you, and I think they're going to be pretty good with this trade. They're not even really bad defenders either, so it's not like you're going to just be having gaps on defense like you would with a guy like Trae Young. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, the Lakers need to go after a guy like Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is a prime example of what the Lakers could really use in this offseason. Dennis Schroeder is good, and maybe if they do re-sign him, which I don't really think is all that bad, maybe they go back, they get Dennis Schroeder, maybe Dennis Schroeder, ends up being comes back maybe on like 15 mil a season, and they can bring in a guy like Derrick Rose for the bench. I think that would be perfect. If you take a look at what Derrick Rose has been able to do for a team like the Knicks, putting up 15 points per game, shooting what's his field goal percentage? Shooting almost 50% from the field. I mean, and 41% from three. Again, that is what the Lakers could really use off their bench. If they land Derrick Rose on a cheap deal, LeBron, Derrick Rose, that is actually a really good duo that we could really, I could get used to seeing that. I'm just saying, that'd be a pretty cool duo to watch happen in real life. Now, the final move I'm going to talk about in this video is basically players that are on the team that they need to get rid of. Two main guys, I think really need to get off this team. One being Kyle Kuzma. Now, again, I've already talked about this a little bit in this video. Kyle Kuzma, he played great in his rookie year. He got paid, and he's not the same player that he was. Kuzma is a type of young player that, again, I feel like in the right situation, he can succeed, but I don't think the Lakers are going to be that team that's going to help him succeed. Prime example of what I'm talking about, guys like Julius Randle. I'm talking about Jordan Clarkson. I'm talking about who is the other one? Brandon Ingram. Three guys that have really broken out in different situations, and I think Kyle Kuzma, again, is that guy that I think they do need to just kind of get rid of. And the other one that I'm really going to talk about here is Andre Drummond. I don't like Andre Drummond as a fit on this team. Again, I talked about why I didn't like seeing him on this team in previous videos. He just destroys their floor spacing. You have a guy like LeBron that can get to the rim almost every single time. Same thing with a guy like AD. You have a guy that can just get to the line, get to the paint, whatever he wants to do. But that gets so screwed up when you have somebody as useless as Andre Drummond on the court. Drummond is a great player in the right situation. And what I mean by that is a team like the Cavs, a team like the Pistons, a team like, I don't even know, just a team that is going nowhere. That's where Drummond belongs, and I hate to say that. Like a team like the Thunder, he'd be great. He'd be putting up 15 and 15 and still taking L's every night. Drummond's just not that guy for the Lakers. Again, a guy like Kelly Olynyk would be such a better fit for this team. The Lakers just need to get rid of Drummond. I know they talked about, if they said that they want to re-sign them, that the only way they would do it is if, you know, he took the veteran minimum, which I wouldn't even give him that. I'm being serious. He's a great player on a terrible team. He'll put up stats. He'll look great, but he's not going to help you win a championship. So I'm going to just kind of leave it at that, though. Damian Lillard is the #1 option I think they should go, you know, they should kind of target. Kelly Olynyk, Eric Gordon, 2 really solid options that they should probably target as well. I was thinking about including something about Kemba Walker, but if I'm being completely honest, Kemba just not going to help. I mean, he's a great player, but I don't like the whole ISO game. That's not really what the Lakers need either. Maybe depending on how you look at it, but Kemba making 32 mil, you're going to have to give up a lot. I just don't think that's going to be a realistic piece. One thing I did forget to say too is a guy like Robert Covington is a great trade piece that they should probably look to get as well. I think Rocco would be really good on the Laker team, but also getting rid of Kuzma, getting rid of Drummond, 2 really important things I think the Lakers definitely have to focus on in this offseason. So you guys let me know what you guys think, man. Do you guys agree with some of the trades and some of these, you know, signings and stuff like that that I talked about? Derrick Rose, again, could be one of the huge pieces that they could really bring in the offseason that could potentially help them win next year and obviously not go through the same problems that they did. Obviously, injuries are going to happen regardless, but I don't know, man. Hopefully they do turn around. Hopefully we see something a little bit different next year. But you guys let me know if you guys agree. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, peace.